So let me know. I don't want to be talking to myself. All right, I can see the thumbs up. I can see the thumbs up. Thank you. All right. All right, let's start. So we're gonna start with a bit of introduction just to get everybody else to join and just to know a bit more about ourselves. So I'll start. So my name is Damilola Eguko, and I am one of the team at Nabeltech, and I'm a Scrum Master myself. And I'm here today just to meet more people and also to help people transition into tech. So basically, this is what we're going to be doing for the next 5 minutes. So we're just going to introduce ourselves, say one fun thing about you, and yeah, who would like to go first? I promise I don't bite. Who would like to go first? Lulu, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I could go first. Hi everyone, my name is Lulu. I'm also part of the Nabeltech team, and I'm also a Scrum Master. I've transitioned myself, and it's been an amazing journey. Looking forward to supporting and helping everyone else on here to also transition. So yeah, good morning. And lovely to meet everyone here as well. Yeah.
Thanks, Lily. Thanks. All right, we would like to go next. I believe we joined this call this morning to gain more experience, correct? So I don't think we should be shy. And like I said, I don't bite. So all right, I can see Nicola. Go on, Nicola.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
You guys are doing well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing some more about becoming a Scrum Master today. And a fun fact about me is I sing and I songwrite.
Oh, nice. I might need to sign up with you. That's cool. Nice, nice, nice. Nice to meet you. Lovely to meet you, Nicola.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Who would like to go next? Don't worry, you don't need to turn on your camera if that's the case. Like it's not compulsory. Just let's meet you. We want to know more about you guys. So that we're not just talking at you when we fully start. Anybody? Anybody? Balaga, introduce yourself to the house, please.
All right. Good morning, everyone, once again. My name is Bolaga. I'm a business developer and also a Scrum Master. And so far, the journey is amazing, and happy to have you guys on the call today and to join the meeting. I promise you, being part of the Nabeltech team on all the way, and I promise you, it's going to be the best experience I can ever think of. So, so feel free, actually, if you need to, and enjoy the section.
Thanks, Balaga. Alina, do you want to speak? I can see you're not muted.
Yeah. Sorry, I
Oh, hi,
tried to
Alina.
join a few times. It wasn't
It's
working for
okay.
me.
Hi.
Hi, so good morning, everyone. My name is Helena. I am also very interested in joining this team. Obviously, I'm trying to transition into tech as a project manager. I am currently a nurse, and fun fact about me, I can bake. That's the only thing I can
Ooh,
think of.
nice, nice. Lovely to meet you, Elena. So in case you join, I know where to come for my cakes. All right,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
great.
definitely.
Thanks. Thanks. All right, so we have room for one more person. We would like to go.
Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Bala.
My name is Bala Nifas. I am presently on the team being transitioned to tech. Nabeltech It's a wonderful consultancy limited. I can assure you, for the ones coming up on board, the course content is rich. It's a family. The course delivery is amazing. They have an amazing team. For me to be awake this morning to join this team, you should know that there's love.
Thanks, Mr. Bala.
There's love. I welcome you on to a journey of a lifetime with amazing people. Good morning once again.
Morning, sir. Thank you. Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Bala. I think so that's it for our introduction. So I'm going to hand over to my colleague Balaga. So it's going to take us through who we are at Nabeltech. Thanks, everybody. It's nice to meet you guys. Balaga.
All right, thank you, Paula. For those who are familiar with the team already, I know you guys already know what Nabeltech is, but for those who will be joining for the first time and will be going through the section with us, just a brief about what Nabeltech is all about. Just like you have it on the slide, Nabeltech is a UK tech consulting and training company, and that was established with a vision to bridge.
The slide is not displaying. There's no display.
Oh, it's not displaying.
Yes.
Okay. But I hope you can hear me so I can proceed.
I can see it on my side, Mr. Bala. Not sure if it's your internet probably didn't catch up. Go on, Balaga.
Okay, like I said, it's a tech consulting and a training company that has been established with a vision to bridge the gap between the technical and non-technical role. It simply means, irrespective of any field you find yourself, it's not compulsory that you have to be a tech guru or you have to be a technical oriented person before you can be part of the Nabeltech team. So what we just do is just to bridge the gap between the technical and the non-technical role in this ever-evolving technical industry. It was founded by an experienced agile coach and the RTE. Nabeltech is committed to empowering individuals and facilitating their success transition into non-tech positions. You'd be surprised that the coach herself, was not trained to be a technical person at the initial stage, but she found her way into tech. So if you are scared, I don't know anything about technicalities, I don't know anything about tech, just relax, right? And let the coach take you through. So, like I said, Nabeltech is committed to empowering individuals and facilitating their successful transition into non-technical positions within the tech sector, with a deep understanding of the dynamics and the demands of the industry. Nabeltech offers comprehensive training program designed to equip individuals with the necessary skills and knowledge to thrive in non-technical roles. The company recognizes that the tech industry encompasses a wide range of opportunities beyond coding and programming, and it's aimed to unlock the possibility for aspiring professionals. So that's who we have. And then we are ready to take you through the course, to take you through the section, and to ensure that at the end of the day, we all smile, great, and certificate. Thank you so much. That will be all from me. All right, so I'll be handing over right now to the coach herself to take you through the next section of the training. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you, Balaga. Thanks, Dami. Now I'm trying to see, or I'm hoping I'll be able to do a good job as much as you guys have done. But thanks for the glowing introduction to Nabeltech. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Can everybody see me okay, hear me okay, and can you see my screen okay as well? So if you can, thumbs
Yes, we
up,
can.
proof of life. Okay.
Welcome.
Elena, Ibrahim, Ifeanyi, can you see my screen? Dami, Adura, can you see my screen? Toby, Rachel, I think I've got Rookie as well. Rita, Michael, Nicola, lovely meeting you earlier. Zainab, Temitope, Tamara, Mr. Saeed, good to have you on the call. And Rachel. Okay, I'm hoping everyone can see my screen. Okay, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining. Today we have a packed agenda and we have very limited time. So I will try my best to go as much as I can or to cover as much as I can within the limited period that I have. This is a career masterclass, is a chilled atmosphere. You can ask me questions. Feel free to raise your hands if you have any question. Please remember that we are in this together. And the main reason why you're here is to get value, is to get more information, is to have better context on how to get started in tech. And I'm really excited that we will be able to provide you that insight and guidance. So a brief overview of what the agenda would look like, or let's unpack it together. We've already covered introduction, we've covered who we are, so we're already on the right track. I'll be talking about how to transition into tech. I'll briefly talk about the technical roles and the non-technical roles that we have in tech. I would touch on the benefits of working in tech, the essential skill sets that you need on a day-to-day basis to excel in your role when you transition into tech. We'll dive into Scrum, project management, business analysis, and product management. And we would also hear from some of our amazing friends that are currently in the bootcamp and so success stories as well. And then we would open it up for question and answers. So I would crack on a little bit about myself before you think, who is this black-faced lady on my screen? To quickly introduce myself, my name is Olaraji. I'm the founder of Nabeltech. I started Nabeltech 2 years ago now, to be precise. And that was just based on a need that I had and how I struggled while I was transitioning into tech. For me, I was previously an healthcare assistant with NHS. And at the point, I just woke up one morning and I said, something's got to give. I can't do this for the rest of my life. I need a change. A friend told me about transitioning into tech, and it was just like that. Boom. I got cracking on with it. And over time, I've been, to God's glory, I've been very, very successful in my field. A bit about my professional profile. I'm a release trainer engineer. I'm a certified agile coach, a scrum master, project manager, and also a trainer. I've consulted quite some time now and across various sectors. I've consulted for BT, for Sky, for Legal and General, for Accenture, for the Home Office, for Belron, for Greater Manchester Combined Authority, and some other companies as well. So I'm mainly a contractor, and I feel I've been able to gather a lot of information and experience to teach you and to coach you on this, your amazing journey. And for me, I like certification. I think I was talking about that on all my social media platforms over the weekend. And just a couple of certifications I've taken over time. So I have the ICP-ACC, so that's for Agile coaching, ICP-ATF for Agile team facilitation, a certified safe release trainer engineer, PSM1, PSM2, PSPO, AWS cloud practitioner as well. And because I think for a lot of us that we're going to be going into tech, at one point or the other, you might need to start learning about cloud. So I feel I just dabbled into that. I'm also a certified digital marketer and a Kanban expert, to name a few. Over some time, we've been in the news, and I think we have those on the links on our pages on Instagram, on TikTok. Whenever you want to, or whenever you're free, please feel free to dabble into that and just read. I'm going to pause here because I see that there's a hand up, and I'll quickly take a question from Damilola. Damilola, do you have a question? Dami, you have your hands up. Can you hear me? If you're talking, you're most likely talking on mute because I can't hear you. All right. Dami, while I can hear you, you can drop your message in the chat or your question in the chat, and I would action accordingly. All right. Just to confirm, can everybody still see my screen? And then we can dive deep.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Okay, let's crack on. I'm going to talk about some few steps that you can take to transition into tech. These steps have been tried, tested, and trusted. And I took this step as well. And for all our successful students, this has been the steps that they took. And it would just mainly accelerate or speed up your tech transition journey. The first part is looking within the industry that's related to your current industry or hobby. I think at the moment, a lot of people are on this call because you've done step one. That is looking at where you want to transition into. So for you to be on this call, that means you've done step one. You've basically done your research. You've decided tech is something I want to explore, or it's a field, or it's an aspect that I want to explore. And that is why you're here. So you're already one step in the right direction. The second part for me that is key is to have a mindset shift and basically conquer imposter syndrome. A lot of people, even without starting, have already put themselves down to say, this tech thing, I don't even think I can do it. I heard it's hard. I heard you have to have a technical background. I heard it's this, I heard it's that. A lot of it is because of what you've heard and internalized. 90% of the time, they are not true. So you need to have a mindset shift. You need to believe that you can do it and you will be successful doing it as well. So when you come into the boot camp or when you start your journey with this mindset, it makes it easier for you. It makes it easier for everybody that you're going to be working with. And it also makes it easier for those that will be supporting you on that transition journey. So believe that you can. Trust that you have the right abilities, you have the right skill sets, you have the right knowledge, and you can also improve and develop yourself to be successful in tech. The next part that you need to consider is to identify your soft skills or your transferable skills that you have currently that you can bring into tech. So I know I've been talking to quite a number of people over the past weeks, and some of them have been working as a nurse, some are working as PMO analysts, some as teachers, and they want to transition into tech. And most of them will say, oh, Coach D, can I even do this? The answer is yes. Believe it or not, up until now, you've been involved with in different activities, even at your workplace, at home, supporting friends. You've done quite a number of things that you, one way or the other, have the right soft skill, the right experience, the right knowledge to get started in tech. That doesn't mean you have everything sufficiently, but you have enough to get started. You are not starting from zero. As a nurse, as a teacher, as an healthcare assistant, whatever you're doing, you already have the soft skills that you need. It could be your communication skills, it could be your interpersonal skills, it could even be the way you handle challenges or difficulties. So identify those strengths, those skill sets that you have that can help you or support you in your transition journey. The next part is where we come in. Attend a boot camp to speed up your transition process. So imagine you go to university to learn computer science degree, or even you do masters in agile or in project management. It's going to take you, let's say, 12 months or maybe 16 months or even 24 months to do it successfully. The boot camp is just a collapsed or short version of that. Over the period of, so for us, our boot camp runs for 3 months. So over a 3 month period, we're going to impact you, we're going to teach you, we'll coach you, we'll mentor you to ensure that you have all it takes to get started in tech. So attend the boot camp. That basically makes it so much easier for you. Next thing you want to do is to do an internship, get the relevant work experience, get the right work experience. I'm going to say that again. You can't skip that process. You can't read and go and apply for interviews or go and apply for jobs. Some people do it and they're successful, but recently, because of the way the tech climate is, it is very tricky. So you need the right work experience. And that is where we come in. So over the course of the bootcamp, you will get the practical experience, you get to deliver a capstone project, you work collaboratively with your team members. And up until the moment you join and you sign a contract with us, you are a staff of Nabeltech until you secure a role. So that is where we come in. We play the role of making sure that you get the right experience, the relevant skill sets, the right tools as well. So you get access to the right tools. Also get certified. This is one of my favorite topics. You can't just go into the market without having the right tools that you need, or even I would say the right badge of honor that you need. So get certified. For different roles, for those that are product managers, there are product manager certification that you can take. For those that are business analysts, there are certifications that you take. Scrum Master, project managers, there are different certifications that you can take. Get certified. I would always tell my students, before you start applying for jobs, have a minimum of one certification on your CV. On no account should you be applying for roles without a certification. Even if it's as cheap as £60, like I did, have something on your CV that can say you're a professional in your field, and that just cements the fact that you know what you're doing. Find a mentor. That is where we come in at Nabeltech as well. So over the course of the bootcamp, you'll be assigned a Scrum lead or project lead to your team, and they'll be there to support you. I'm also mentoring quite a number of people, so feel free to reach out to me. I'm able to support as well. And also Networking is key. One of the things that we've realized during the course of our bootcamp is a lot of our students make friends, and they make that friends for life. I'm sure Mr. Bala and Shigamovi can talk about that later. So even for us at Nabeltech, for everybody that joins our bootcamp, we are networking with you. Another way you can network is to go on LinkedIn, go on Facebook, on Twitter, look for people that are already in your field, that have done what you want to do. Reach out to them, connect with them, ask them questions. When you're in the market for jobs, ask them if they have any openings in their companies as well. And while we've talked about those various steps, we need to also look at the technical and non-technical roles in tech that we have. So for every organization, and I will say now I'm focusing on UK, there would always be a mix of technical roles and non-technical roles. People that are technical and people that are non-technical that work on a day-to-day basis collaboratively to move the organization forward, to make sure that deliverables are completed in time and on budget and all those things. So we need to bear in mind that there's hardly right now a forward-thinking company that would not have a tech team and a non-tech team. So that means within tech, you have technical roles and non-technical roles. And when I say technical roles are roles that you require to have a technical background, like computer science background. You need to know how to code, or you need to know some programming languages. However, the non-technical side of things, which is where we come in, is the roles that you can do without having a technical background, are roles that you can learn with the right experience, with the right support. You can successfully transition into them as well. So to have a look at the different types of roles. So for technical roles, examples of them are software developer, your data architect, your data scientist, information security sciences, some computer system analysts, and your data engineers, to name a few. For non-technical roles, however, you have your Scrum Master role, your Project Manager role, your Product Manager role, business analysis, digital marketing roles as well. So there are other roles that actually fit into tech that are non-technical. And that means you don't also need to have a technical background, or you don't need to have a technical degree for you to successfully work in tech. And I'm going to bust one myth today. And I was talking to someone and she said, Coach D, they said I need to be very, very good at maths to work in tech. That is not true. So mathematics is not a core requirement for you to successfully thrive in tech. All you need to do is to have the right experience, the right skill set, and you'll be on your way to getting your role in tech. Now I'm going to touch on some skill sets that you need to successfully transition into tech. The first part of it is communication. For everybody that works in tech, myself inclusive, and I'm going to be using myself as an example a lot, there's never a day that I get to work and I don't talk to people. There is never, in short, from my first call to my last call, from 9 to 5, I would always be on calls, always talking to people. So for communication, you need to be able to express yourself well. You need to also have active listening skills to be able to understand what people tell you and make sure that you digest, you understand it, you ask questions back, and you don't interrupt when they're talking. Teamwork and collaboration is key as well. You'll be working with a lot of people. You need to understand how to work with people successfully. You need to respect people's individuality, their opinions, their skill set, and make sure that you support everyone together. Problem solving is key, because in tech, we are most likely 100% working on complex projects or programs or products. And if we have the answers, we would all be chilling at home. But you need to remember that that is why we are there as professionals. We're there to understand, how can we solve these problems? How can we move this organization from point A to point B successfully? And this is where your problem solving skill comes in. It might even be as little as people having conflicts, fighting. You can start to think about, how can I solve this problem? How can I resolve this conflict? Servant leadership is another skill set that you need to have. And when we say servant leadership, it basically means you're leading by influencing. We are not leading like some of our people from some of the countries that we know, we are leading by influencing. So you're there to serve the team while you're leading them. You don't tell people what to do. You're there to make sure that you're there to support them, remove any blockers, any challenges they're facing. However, you're there to lead them in the right direction as well. Also, you need to have attention to details. For me, I would always have sticky notes, pen, papers around me. That's because I don't want to forget anything important. So write things down. If you can record, record. If you can't record, write things down, because sometimes we have a lot of information overload, and I'm talking from my example. So I was at a meeting, I think last week, Monday, and one of the stakeholders of my organization said, 90% of the things that you've discussed on the call today, I don't understand. A senior stakeholder and said, the ones that I even understand, I don't know how to put it in the right context. So please, can you explain to me, what do I need to write down? What is important? What are the key takeaways from me? So when you get to work, or when you start working, there's a lot of things that comes at you. You need to understand what is important, what is not important, and then write out the important things so you don't forget. And for some of us that will be very lucky to work on maybe one program, 2 projects, you might be able to juggle things around. You need to be able to make sure that you keep attention to details. Creativity, analytical skills, effective planning, and people management. All these are also skill sets that you have, that you need to have to successfully work in tech. One of the things to bear in mind is sometimes you might not have all this skill set, and you might think, oh, I have just 2. I don't have 4. I have 5. That's okay. Even if you don't have them now, you can consciously look at how you can improve yourself, how you can start building the skill set. Like for me, when I started my role in tech, I would just be very, very quiet. In fact, when they talk to me, I'll be like, and when they ask me questions, I would think and think before I answer. But now I'm learning to express myself well, to be vocal at meetings, to ask questions, to talk. And also when people tell me things, active listening, I would ask questions, make sure that I understand what they're saying, even repeat it back to them to be sure I get the right context. And for people that work with people, it might just be you being more patient with people, you having this empathy, understanding how people think, how they relate, respecting people's opinions, and planning effectively as well. So all these skill sets, even if you don't have everything now, you can consciously look at how to improve them on a day-to-day basis. And some other roles in tech that you can consider that I would say that you can basically try out for those that are still looking for other roles to jump into if you've not made up your mind. You have the product owner role, the agile coach role, delivery manager role, project lead, program lead, also software tester, and cloud engineer roles. And I'm going to touch briefly on the benefits of working in tech. I'll talk about the salaries of those that work in tech, and then I'll take a 2-minute break to ask questions, to answer questions. So let's talk about the benefits of working in tech. This is, I would say, is a motivator for a lot of people, myself inclusive. So I would say when I was still working in healthcare, one of the things that made me decide I was going to look for a role that is much more flexible was the fact that then I used to do a lot of night shift. And I realized when I go to work in the night, by the time I'm back during the day, I'm sleeping. When I wake up around 3, I will need to, around 2, I'll need to cook, take care of my little ones, and then go back again to work. So at the point, I woke up and I realized I don't have a life. And then I used to do 5 nights, 6 nights a week. And I was just doing work, sleep, work, sleep, work, sleep. And I feel I can't continue like this for the rest of my life. So why did I decide I was going to go into tech? One was for flexibility, to be able to work around, have this work-life balance. So work, do the things I love while still working and not depriving myself of what I love because I'm working. Also better pay, definitely. Then I think I was on £9 something an hour. So better days, better pay, and then growth opportunities. So let's talk about some of these benefits. So there's definitely excellent pay for those that work in tech. They can categorically say, unless they don't want to tell you the truth, that there's better pay in tech. So because of your expertise, because of your experience, because of your skill sets that you're bringing into the role, the company would adequately pay you for that value that you will be delivering. And another point is you have better work-life balance. So for most times, or I would say most of the job I've done in tech are fully remote. So that means I know that the last contract I was on was for a US company and I was fully remote. Like I would only go to the office maybe once every 3 months. And even my expense, everything will be covered. The hotel, the flight, everything will be covered by the company. So there is this work-life balance, there's flexibility as well. I can decide to go into the office when I want to. I can decide to stay at home. And even now, the market is opening up for some of the roles that we have now. There's quite this opportunity that you can work hybrid. So you can say maybe 2 days at the office, 3 days at home, or even once a week, or 2 times in 2 weeks, or once a month. So there's this better work-life balance. There's flexibility around how you work. There's growth opportunities. So you can learn, you can grow. So for me, I started as a Scrum Master. And over the years, I've been a Scrum Master, an Agile coach, a delivery manager, a release train engineer, senior product delivery specialist, and up until my last role, which is now a program manager. And all started from me being a Scrum Master. So there's a lot of growth opportunities. And one of the things I tell my students is if you start a role and you're in that role for 4 years, 5 years, you're not growing, then there's something wrong with you. You can grow, you can improve yourself, you can do the right certification, and you can even earn more just while being in tech. And then the last part is there's high demand for people with a particular skill set. And that is why I would always tell everybody, just don't stay at that entry level role. Make sure that once you're there, you improve yourself, do the right certifications, take the right trainings, improve yourself. So by the time that you're in the job market, the skill set that you have will be, I would say, in high demand, that they'll be willing to pay you a lot for you to come to work in the organization. So make sure that you improve yourself as well. And then lastly, lastly, before I take a pause, I'll talk about the salaries of some technical or non-technical roles in tech. So these are roles that you don't need to have a technical background to get started in. So presently in the UK, the Scrum Master salary ranges from £45,000 to £80,000. For business analysts, it ranges from 35 to 60. But recently, the BA market is picking up, and I've been seeing like 60, £70,000 BA roles as well. For project managers, it ranges from £45,000 to £75,000. For software testers, and this is for manual software testers. So for manual software tester, you don't need to code as well. So you have from £25,000 to £45,000. For product manager, you have from £45,000 to £75,000. And for product design, or we call them UI UX designers, it ranges from £35,000 to £60,000. And this just boils down to say that there's a lot of demand, there's a lot of expectation, and they also pay well for people in tech. I'm going to touch on something before I crack on to talk about Scrum and the rest is, recently the tech market has been a little bit iffy, and that is, I would say there's more competition out there in the market. One of the things I would always tell people is, especially for those that are transitioning into tech, always have the end goal in mind. Know your reason why you want to transition into tech, and let that be your motivator. Number two, make sure that you're so skilled, you're good, you know your stuff, and you're good at what you do, that any interview opportunity that you get, you will land the role. We've got a lot of people that have gotten jobs even from their first interview. So it is possible. Make sure that you're good at what you do. And also when it gets to the stage that you apply for roles, please don't be lazy. Don't just apply for one job and you say that's it. You need to be on top of your game. One of the tips I do, or one of the things I do is, I have my CV on my phone, and I have all the job ads or the job boards on my phone. And I basically apply when I'm really considering applying. I apply 3 times in a day. I apply in the morning just after 9 o'clock. I will apply in the afternoon around 1 o'clock post lunch, and I will apply after 6 p.m. And you know what that means? Any job that has been posted during the workday, I will be the first set of people. I'll be part of the first set of people to apply for that role. So that means you're better placing yourself. And one of the things I also do is, after applying for roles, I go back to call the recruiter, follow up. So that way the recruiter has the visibility of your CV, and you're in a better chances, or you have better chances of being called back for an interview. So make up your mind that on this tech journey, I'm going to give it all it takes. I'm not going to start and stop on the way. I will be dedicated. I will know my why, and I will follow through to the end. I'm going to pause for 2 minutes to take questions before I then dive into Scrum, project, product, and business analysis. Any questions so far? And if you have any question, you can put it in the chat. For those that's just joining us, if you want to register for the bootcamp, there's a link in the chat. My team members are going to post the link in the chat. You can just click on the link and someone will reach out to you. So to answer Tamara's question, Tamara said, is the bootcamp done online or face-to-face? the boot camp is virtual, so you can take it from the comfort of your house. And thank you, Mr. Bala, for answering. No matter where you are, you can still join the boot camp. You will be able to learn everything right from the comfort of your own house. Nicola, let me take your question.
Thank you so much, Lola. It's really encouraging hearing your journey into tech. I just wanted to ask, because of all of the things that you've done, from becoming a healthcare assistant, time-wise, what did that look like in terms of you starting your journey to successfully transitioning into tech? What did that look like for you?
So for me, it was long, and I'm not going to be lying to you or tripping, and I'm going to tell you why it was long. And that is the main reason why we started, or I started Nabeltech. So for me, timeline-wise, it took me 2 years, and it took me 32 interviews. And that is because, one, I never had a mentor. I self-studied Scrum, so nobody taught me anything about Scrum. I did a lot of try and error, and I gambled a lot. And for me, that was the longest 2 years of my life, because I was still working very hard as an healthcare assistant. I was still learning Scrum and Agile by the side. And it was just very, very tricky for me. However, that then made me realize that there's a lot of people in my shoes that could actually benefit from having the right support, which would then make them secure their role faster. And on the back of that, for some of our students, we've seen people getting job almost immediately after the bootcamp. I would say the longest time that we had, or the shortest time is 1 month after the bootcamp. And the longest time that we've had for some people, I would say 6 months after the bootcamp. So I would say it depends on you, it depends on your dedication, it depends on how much time and effort you're putting into it. And obviously with the right support during the bootcamp, if you harness and you utilize that, then you'll be fine.
Thank you. Thank you, Lola.
You're welcome. And then let's see, another hand up is Adura. Adura, go for it.
Thank you very much, Lola, for that insightful piece. Thank you so much. A quick question. For someone who has participated in some trainings before, other Scrum trainings, of course, not comprehensive enough, but is that to say that once the bootcamp starts and then I get probably like interviews, like one cannot get like mentorship at that stage? For example, okay, I'm just first week into the boot camp and I have a scheduled interview and I need advice or like a guide, your professional touch on things. Do I have to wait till the end of the boot camp before I can seek your guidance, or
No, I believe not. Number one, because you've already been part of, I would say, maybe a training or boot camp in the past. So for me, I think that kind of certifies that you know what you're doing. Number two, the fact that you're already in the market means that I would say, maybe a step in the right direction. So even if you get interviews during the boot camp or midway the boot camp, that's fine. Just reach out to me. We can get started on that together.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. Any other question before I continue? All right, let's back up. I hope everybody's still with me though. Bumi, Elizabeth, Verma, Elena, Ibrahim, Ifeanyi, Linda, Ngozi, Michael. Are you guys still here? All right, that's good. Okay, let's carry on as well. So let's talk about, I'm going to touch on 4 different roles that you can transition into in tech that does not require a technical background. And the first one I will start with is Scrum, or the Scrum Master role. So when we say Scrum, what does that mean? I know the first time I heard of the word Scrum, I was on a boot camp and someone said, I got a job as a Scrum Master. And I was like, what is that? And I went on like, what does Scrum means? And up until then, I was just glued. So Scrum is basically a framework under Agile project management that helps us as a team manage our work, deliver value effectively. So one thing you need to bear in mind is Scrum has the right structure. It has the right principles and practices that helps team work together collaboratively to deliver value. And one of the things you need to bear in mind is Scrum is. For Scrum, we are basically focusing on how to deliver value by learning through our experiences, by self-organizing. So if you're the Scrum Master, you help your team self-organize on working on any problem, project, program that they're delivering, or even products. And also we are focusing on how to consistently and continuously improve ourselves, improve our processes, improve our ways of working. So Scrum got the name from the game of rugby. I don't know if we have anybody that's a rugby fan here. And in rugby, you will see before the team starts playing the game, they would come together, they would gather around one another, and they will kind of put their arms around one another and just talk and maybe strategize. And then once they're done, they will break up and they'll go and play, and then they'll come back again. And that is the whole concept of Scrum. So this main framework was introduced a couple of years ago by a group of people. I think Jeff Sutherland and one other guy as well. They went on a retreat and said, okay, let's look for a way that we can deliver software products quickly, iteratively, and also while learning and doing it. And let's look for a way that we can deliver value by being open to change and feedback. And that was where Scrum was kind of birthed from. And now Scrum is widely adopted worldwide, both in tech and even outside of tech, because Scrum has the right principles, it has the right values, framework that helps us work together to deliver value. So for Scrum, we have a set of meetings that we attend, or we call it ceremonies or events. We have a set of timelines that we work with. We have a set of tools that we use, and we have roles, people that have different roles and responsibility within the team. And this just gives us structure to deliver value. And that is why the need or the demand for Scrum Masters is on the rise. So now let's talk about who the Scrum Master is and what do you do as a Scrum Master. If you look at the picture that you can see on your screen, the picture to the left, you can see that the Scrum Master has like different things that they do on a day-to-day basis, and it would differ organization to organization. For Scrum Masters, you're responsible for fostering the right communication among your team members, encouraging them to talk, to interact better. You facilitate the right meetings. So for us, we have different events that we run as Scrum Masters. So your stand-ups, your retros, your sprint planning, so planning for the work we want to do. The Scrum Master is responsible for planning all this. Agile coaching is also very key. So you teach your team or you coach them on how to deliver value in increments, in bits, while working together collaboratively. Another thing Scrum Master does is to support their team members anywhere they need help. So because remember I said that you act as a servant leader, you're there to support your team members to deliver value. So anywhere they need help, blockers, challenges, whenever they are not feeling fine, whenever they are worried, whenever they need help outside of the team, you're there to support them. And if you can see, the last one says you remove blockers. So any impediments that your team members are facing, anything that can slow down the pace of the delivery of your team, as Scrum Masters, you're there to remove that as well. You protect your team. You act as a buffer between your team and outside influences. That will be your project managers, your stakeholders, and anybody that may want to distract your team or even give them more work to do or overload them. So Scrum Masters, you act as that shield as well. Also, you manage the tool that we use to deliver value or to track the progress of our work. So for us during the bootcamp, we use Jira. So we use Jira. So for Scrum Masters, you'll be the one managing the use of Jira on a day-to-day basis. And then you also report on the progress of your team members to the stakeholders. So the Scrum Master helps the team members to deliver value by facilitating Scrum to them. So you're there to teach them, to coach them, and to mentor them to deliver value. So because you are the expert of Scrum, everybody's going to be looking onto you as that leader to teach them, to coach them to deliver value using the Scrum framework. I'm going to give you a funny example of what will make you always remember the role of a Scrum Master. So do you have anybody that loves football on the call? Anybody that loves football? I'm assuming I'm the only one. Okay, Adura loves football. Okay, Adura, have you at any point in time seen the coach on the football pitch playing with maybe Saka and the rest and dragging ball with them? Has that ever happened before, Adura and Golaga?
No, the rules don't allow for that.
Are you sure?
No.
So what does the coach then does during a football match, Belaga and Adura?
He shares his philosophy of how they should play, and then his players represent him on the field.
That's exactly that.
Yeah.
That's
So
what coach is.
that person serves as the coach, the mentor for the team. So you need to bear that in mind, that you're not the one that will be writing the code or testing the code or making sure that the functionality is working properly. However, you're there to oversee the whole process and make sure that everybody pulls their weight, everybody's accountable, and everyone delivers value. And that is the role of a Scrum Master. The next thing we're going to talk about now is project management and who we are as project managers. When you talk about a project, or when you think of a project, I know some people will always think of maybe files, reports, and then something that you need to do. But however, on a day-to-day basis, we may be, or we may actually be delivering projects and you might not even know. So looking at the definition of a project is simply a temporary endeavor that we do or that is undertaken to create a unique product, value, service, or outcome, or even result. So one of the things you need to bear in mind when we're talking about project is it is a temporary endeavor. That means it has a start date and it has an end date as well. Also, you remember that at the end of the product, you would have an outcome or value that you're delivering. So what are you delivering? I remembered I was talking to the students in the bootcamp and I gave them the example of a party, a birthday party. So believe it or not, you planning a birthday party is actually a project. So we talked about everything that went into it. So bear in mind, project is just simply a temporary endeavor that we do to create a unique product, an outcome, a service, or a result. And when we now talk about project management, that is where you and I come in to make sure that we use the right knowledge, the right experience, skill set, and tools to make sure that we complete those series of tasks within that period of time to deliver our value and to achieve our desired outcome. So that means at the beginning of every project, there will be a goal, there will be a target, there will be an outcome that is desired to be achieved. And project management is when you basically use everything within your capability, within your I'll say within your remit now, to work together to deliver that outcome. And the key things you need to bear in mind is for every project, you have three key things you need to bear in mind. There's a time consideration, there's a cost consideration that you need to bear in mind. So there would always be a start date and an end date. You will always have a set of resources that's allocated to you, I would say budget, and then you need to make sure that whatever you're working on, you're delivering to quality. Whatever you're working on, you're delivering value. It is fit for purpose at the end of the day. So who are now project managers? Project managers are organized, they are goal-oriented professionals that use all their experience, their innovation, their creativity, and also collaboration to lead projects end to end successfully to make an impact and to achieve the desired outcome. So project managers are responsible for the successful delivery of your project from beginning to the end. So what does project managers do anyway? So they are there to lead the project, to facilitate the right people, the right resources, work collaboratively with the stakeholders, identify the risk, the issues, the dependencies, and work collaboratively with everybody to make sure that we achieve our desired outcome. So some of the skill set that you need to have as a project manager includes leadership skills, adaptability is important as well. You need to make sure that you know how to manage your time effectively. Remember that your time is a constraint in whatever you're doing in a project. Also, creative problem solving, effective communication is key. Motivation and team management is important as well. Bearing that in mind, let's talk about some of the roles and responsibilities of a project manager. So that means on a day-to-day basis, they're responsible for identifying what are the goals that we want to achieve in this project. What is the scope? What does this project cover and what does it not cover? They need to plan, they need to document everything that is involved in the project. They need to ensure that the deliverables are identified and delivered on time. We don't want to deliver our requirements after the project timeline. We need to make sure that we're on track with everything we're doing. They also manage the project resources, be it people, be it tools, be it third-party partners. Project managers are responsible for managing the resources as well. They eliminate any blockers or any potential risk that may stop us or slow us down in delivering the project. They communicate the progress of the project to the stakeholders, to senior leadership team, both internal stakeholders and also external stakeholders as well. They document all the process that is involved in the delivery of the project. They use the right project management tools. Some use Jira, some use Microsoft Project. and they ensure top quality results and project success at the end of the day. I'm going to pause there to take question. Any question on project management and Scrum? Any question? Adra, you have your hands up. Is that a legacy hand? Or is that a new question?
I'm sorry, it's a legacy hand.
Legacy hand. All right, that's fine. Nicola, you have your hands up.
Hiya. Yeah, no, I was just going to ask, in terms of the Scrum Master role, when you're working, when you're using the framework, like what is the general length of a project? Like, does it vary, or is it like, I don't know, every 3 months we do this? Like, how does it work?
So it depends on the scope of the project, it depends on the organization, and it depends on the nature of the project itself. There are some projects that are short, like there's one in my team that we're kicking off. That project, the length that we've identified is for just 12 months. So that's fine. However, there are some projects or even programs that will take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years to deliver. So I would say it depends on the organization. It depends also on the type and the nature of the project that you've been involved with.
Also, sorry, I just had one more question. I wanted to ask, I guess, like when you're coming into the role and you don't have a technical background, when you're working with the team, are you ever met with any resistance?
So your knowledge of not having a technical background doesn't mean you would encounter resistance. The most likely place that you would encounter resistance would be change. People not wanting change, or maybe because you're coming in as a Scrum Master, you're there to teach them a new way of working, quote unquote. And that is where you might get resistance. Maybe they don't want to change the ways of working. However, because you're not technical, that doesn't put you at a place of disadvantage, right? One of the things I would always do is on my first couple of days at work, identify who your key technical people are, and then just talk to them. So I would always tell them, explain this to me as if you're talking to a 4-year-old. What does this mean? And they would always take the time to explain it to you. No one is expecting you as a Scrum Master to have a computer science degree or to for you to know how to code or for you to know about the technical estate. So feel free to utilize that and ask the right questions. However, when they now tell you more about it, take your time to read up on whatever they've told you, ask questions so that by the time you start joining your meetings or you start working, even though you don't understand the nitty-gritty of it, you have a very, very clear perspective on a high level of what they're talking about.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, thank you. And I'm sorry, just one more question based off of what you just said. And when you are met with resistance, when people might not want to change their way of working, how do you tackle that?
You don't tackle resistance by you being difficult or by you pushing things in their faces. So for me, when I start roles, and I know I was on a contract before, and even the resistance I met started from the senior leadership team. So I was a contractor on that program. And when I got in, they said, someone said, I don't even know why you're here anyway. So what's your role again? What are you here for? And then they said, I don't think we need you, but it's okay. Let's see what you would do in 6 months. Because my contract was for 6 months. So sometimes the team will be like, we're working very fine without a Scrum Master. Why do we need one? So when you get into that type of situation, one of the things I would always do is first build relationship and build trust. Only when they trust you will they let you help them. And the resistance will, I would say, fade away. If you go there based on your own knowledge of Agile and Scrum, and you see that they're doing things in a totally wrong way, and then you're going to tell them, this is right, this is wrong, you shouldn't be doing it this way, you're even losing them the more. So one of the things I do is for every organization I join, there's a series of steps that I take. It's called the OODA loop. I would first observe. I would observe, orient, I would make friends, I would talk to people, I would get introduced, I will observe their ways of working, I will ask questions based on how I can help. I'm not just going to go there and implement change in the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month. Doesn't happen that way. So make friends, build relationship, build trust. Only then should you start introducing your changes in bits, not immediately in bits. Does that make sense now? Is it clear?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you, Lola.
All right, you're welcome. Let me take Oluwatobi's question before we carry on. Oluwatobi, go for it.
Hi, Lola.
I was just going to ask on in layman's language. I feel with what you have explained, the role of a project management is like the role of an event planner that employs people to do the job, but is in charge of all, right?
You're right. I couldn't have explained it better than that. So you are basically the orchestrator, the orchestrator behind, or you are the one working behind the scene to make sure that everything is done well. So as an event planner now, you be the one to identify, okay, for this event, who do we need? Decorator, caterer, music, clothes, identifying all those people, making sure that everybody pulls their weight to ensure that you deliver that event on time within the budget that the event owner has given you, and also that the event is meets the right standard, or I would say quality, or meets the expectation of the event owner. Is that clear now?
Yeah. Thank you.
Brilliant. Any other question before we carry on? So we're going to talk about business analysis briefly. We'll talk about product management briefly as well. All right, let's crack on. So business analysis. When we talk about business analysis, I need you to bear in mind that for business analysts, they play a very, very key role in any organization. So BA is simply the practice of enabling change within an organization. And that change could be anything at all. However, you need to define the needs, understand where the gaps are, and then propose solutions to the stakeholders. One of the things business analysts do a lot is to talk to people, is to observe, is to gather requirements, and we call them agents of change. So when we talk about business analysis, it is basically this approach to introducing and managing changes in organizations. So either it's a government organization, a non-profit, or anything at all, business analysts are basically the agents of change. And some other roles that you would see them play, or some people that would, if you see their role, just understand they have that this business analysis context is. Some call them business system analysts, some say system analysts, some say requirements engineers, or even process analysts. Everything can still be classed as business analysis. So business analysis is basically used to identify and articulate the need for change and how an organization works. So let's say, for example, Sky calls Toby, Adura, and Michael to say, okay, come and have a look at our organization. Look at our current ways of working. How can we improve it? What do we need to do? So what Adura and Michael and Toby would do would be to sit down with the stakeholders, sit down with the staff, understand the current processes, the current ways of working. While doing that, they would identify the gaps in practices. So what they're currently doing is to map in the assist process. How is it being done at the moment? And then they will propose solutions, which is usually called the to be. How can we then improve? How should we then work moving forward as well? So business analysts basically identify and define solutions that will maximize the value that an organization delivers at every point in time. So their role includes from defining the strategy to creating the right, understanding and introducing the right enterprise architecture for the team to use. They also take on leadership roles. They also work very closely with the technical teams because all the requirements they've gathered, all the solutions they are preferring, they need to work closely with the technical team to make sure that those solutions are then implemented successfully as well. And then to talk about the role of a product manager. So when we say product manager, it is basically this process of planning, developing, launching, and after launching, managing a product or a service. So for most organizations, we are moving to the product management mindset, and that is basically us looking at how we can deliver value, basically by planning, identifying the need, by planning how we want to deliver the product, by developing it. So that will be the technical team working very closely, by launching it, doing your market research, making sure that your product is fit for purpose, and also managing the life cycle of the project and of the products end to end up until our customers start using them and we're getting value out of it as well. The product manager sits above all this. So he or she is responsible for identifying what the customer needs are. What is the demand in the market that we need to deliver for? And they also make sure that they work very closely with the business to understand what products will be delivered, to make sure that that product even delivers value and what success looks like for that product at every point in time. They're responsible for turning our product vision into reality, into incremental value that you and I can then use and enjoy. So a product, for example, can be your iPhone. A product can be your Ray-Ban glasses, anything at all. You would always have a team of people, a group of people working behind the scene. And if you can look at this picture just to the right, the product manager or product management sits in between user experience, between tech and the business. So they serve the bridge between how our customers perceive, use our product, between the tech team that then builds it to make sure that it is fit for purpose, and the business that funds it and gives us the requirement that they want us to deliver or achieve as well. So to deliver the best product managers need to work very closely with the customers, work within the organization, and make sure that the voice of the market is heard and heeded. And what we are doing is basically what the customers need. They are also responsible for communicating the product objective, the plans to the wider company, right? So they make sure that everything they are working on, we have that visibility. And they ensure that everybody is working together towards that shared organizational goal. So whatever the goal the company has set to deliver, everybody is working collaboratively to deliver that product as well. And I'm going to pause here to then take questions. Any other questions before we carry on? Okay, everybody's quiet. I'm guessing that's School of Life. All right. We have some success stories here. I'm trying to see if I can play it so everybody else can hear. But let's play the first one from one of our old students. All right, I'm sure everybody heard that, or was I just the only one that heard that? Did everybody else hear the message on the slide?
Yeah.
All right, brilliant. So let's hear from Mui as well. Brilliant. And I hope everybody heard that as well. And we have just one more from one of our students before we hand over to, do we have Mr. Bala on the call? And then Mama Yetunde as well. Do we have them on the call?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Bala, would you like to
Yes.
go first? Oh, Mr. Bala, please, would you like to go first? And then we hand over to Sugar Mom. I call her my Sugar Mommy, by the way, guys. Mr. Bala, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. I am currently on the booth camp, but I must tell you, you're coming into a firm that the course content is rich, the delivery is amazing, and you're going to be, as I am, with an amazing team that strive to impact and to transform and make it easy to move into tech. I am from the project management background. I have tried other tech firms for this training before I came into Nabeltech. So I have sought this transformation, but when I got into Nabeltech, I'm stuck. I actually have my training by 12 to 2 for the Scrum Master role, but I had to be on this to share my own experience so far going forward. You are stuck. You are in a family that they care about you. They care about what they are impacting you with and how you are receiving the course content. And most especially, coach will tell you something. There's no useless question. Just say it as it is. And she's there. It's like teaching a child how to, from when the child was born to creep to walk. That is the team you're coming into. I just welcome you upon this journey, because it's a journey that, for me, is not stopping any soon, because it keeps on going on and on and on and on. The possibilities are amazing. The team is amazing. I welcome you on board the Nabeltech family. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bala. Amayatini, please go for it.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Yetunde. Everyone calls me Sugar Mommy. So, well, where do I start? I'm actually a nurse by background. I'm actually a matron. You know, I've been in healthcare for years and years and years. I hated tech. And put it that way, I absolutely hated tech. And I'm sure most nurses do. Anyone in healthcare, 90% of us, we're very hands-on. We're not interested in, putting our fingers to keyboards and pads. However, I wanted a career change. And I started searching for which company to go with. This. There was so many adverts. So I spoke to Coach D, and from the first time I spoke to her, I just knew that I wanted to be explained to like a baby, like an infant, like someone that had no clue. I'm someone that would call my kids, say, "Oh, please come on, come and open up a file for me." That's how much I just hated tech. It's just not me. And it's brought back my love for tech. The team is extremely supportive. There's no shame. There's no, we all bond together. We all don't know each other from any background, but we all bond together. It's a very, very, I actually look forward to coming in on a Saturday, the daily scrum, everything. And you can tell your vision. And what I would say is, if you set yourself a goal, you have to have your own input as well. You can't not participate and expect a result. But Coach D is absolutely fantastic. Odun, Lolu, all the team, Dami, everybody, the team, we all support each other as well. If someone is not well, you go, okay, what do you need to do? And that builds up the teamwork spirit in tech from now. And I would say this training, it's so robust that it actually mimics your workplace. And that's what you need. The content and the delivery and the practical mimics what you'll be doing in real life when you actually get into tech. So, and they're all very approachable. There's no silly question like Coach says, and the examples are extremely relatable to real life. So what I would say is, please, well, I'm not here to sell you anything, I don't do sales. But what I would say is, from my experience, I have no regrets. Put it that way. I absolutely have no regrets at all. And I would say from zero in tech, I feel like I'm about 60% now, if that makes sense. So, she's very approachable. All the team, they're very, very approachable. And Mr. Bala, when he talks on Saturday, I just bust out laughing. We all just, you get to know. Don't forget that when you start working in tech, you're going to meet different personalities as well. And this is mimicking what you'll be doing. You'll be working with 10, 15, 20 different people. And this is it. Different personalities, different role play. And, yes, please, welcome to Nabeltech. That's all I can say. Welcome. You'll soon find out yourself. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thanks for the feedback. I think that's really, really good. And it's encouraging to hear that at least people from the current cohorts can testify to the fact that we're doing a good job. But yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Bala. Thanks. We call her Sugar Mommy, so thanks, Sugar Mommy. Any other question before we round up? Any questions, any concerns, anything we can help with? All our classes are virtual, by the way. So if anybody's interested in joining, we've dropped the link in the chat. Please feel free to click on the link. I know quite a number of people on the call have already registered for the next cohort, so that is fine. If you've not, please click the link in the chat to get registered as well. All our classes are virtual. Our lectures are every Saturdays. So we've designed it to fit around your life, your work, your family. So something will not have to suffer because you're on the bootcamp. And as long as you can meet us halfway, you can put in the effort, you can put in the time, and you're consistent, we would definitely hold your hand and you're on the right track as well. And this is an exciting opportunity for us. The bootcamp starts next week, Saturday. I think this time next week, we should be getting started. I'm going to pause here to take any questions or any feedback before we round up. Toby, you have your hands up. Is that a legacy hand or is that a question? And then Mr. Said as well. Mr. Said, would you like to go for it?
Thank you very much, Coach D.
Welcome, sir.
I enjoy watching most of your reels on Instagram, and I can say it's quite inspiring. But at the beginning of the class or this session, I go through your profile and I could see that you got enough certifications, and you also mentioned it took you 2 years and 32 interviews before you could get here. So I want to know, was it within that 2 years you got all those certifications? That's number one. Number two, you also mentioned internship. Someone like me, I had masters in project and planning management from University of Bradford. So, and I've done my Prince 2 foundation. I'm preparing for the Prince 2 practitioner before I will now put in for project management institute exam. So basically for me, I have little of experience in this theoretical aspect. All I think I need, or what I think I want right now, is the practical aspect, which I believe you guys usually have probably at the end of the theory session. I want to know, after the theoretical part, the internship you mentioned, is it going to be, for how long is it going to be? Is it after the theoretical class, or there is another internship that is going to probably groom us or get us ready for the field? I don't know if you understand my question.
Yeah, I do. So let me answer your first question. Before I got my role, I only did one certification. And that was the International Scrum Institute certification that costs, I think, £60 or £65, thereabout. So that was the only certification that I did before I landed my job. And that was years ago. However, now I would advise minimum of one, maximum of 2 certifications to get in the right track. Every other certification that I've gotten, I've been when I've been on the roll. And there are some certifications that I would even advise you not to rush and take now, because I feel like, one, some of your organizations might actually pay for it. So you might not need to use your money to pay for it unless you're a contractor. So for anybody that knows that you're going to be going the contractor, because I was a contractor, then I paid for my certifications myself. If you're not a contractor, I would say take a couple of certifications, maybe one or two. Once you start your role, your company is going to pay for your certification, and then you can use that, or you can pay side by side and you can use that to augment and improve yourself. So as a minimum, have at least one certification, and that one or two certifications that should get you in the right direction for interview calls. On the other hand, for the work experience, so I would say from the moment you join the bootcamp, your work experience starts. The whole internship opportunity starts, because you would we have something that we're going to give you, like a workbook assignment or like exercise that you get to do. You collaborate with your team members on a daily basis afterwards. You do your research and all. So from the moment you start the bootcamp, your work experience starts. However, for the capstone project, we usually start at week 6. So we're going to give you 1 week of introduction into the capstone project. You will have 1 week of design sprint or sprint 0, and then you're going to have you're going to run 4 full sprints of your project. And that project, because we are also a consulting firm, we're not just a training firm. And I think that is one thing we need to make clear. So in as much as we do training is an aspect of Nabeltech. We also consult and we deliver projects for our clients as well. So at the end of the 12 weeks of the bootcamp, you should have both practical knowledge, work experience. You should have the technical or the theoretical knowledge as well that should get you in the right direction. So the whole 12 weeks will be end to end. And also while you're with us, up until you get a job, you will still be with us as a staff of Nabeltech until you get a job. When we give you reference, then we're happy to hand you off into your new role. Have I answered your question, Sai?
Yes, you have. Thank you. Sorry, one more thing. You mentioned that because in some of your reels, the Prince 2 I said I've done. You know, we have Prince 2 Foundation. We have and you've just advised that at least do one. When you get into the system, you can keep doing, and maybe your company can be paying for it. So will you say I should go for the practitioner Prince 2, or I should just stick with the foundation?
I might advise you to take an agile certification or a Scrum certification later. And I'll tell you, and that is because right now, as someone that interviews, the market is not just looking for waterfall project managers. We want project managers that has both the knowledge of Prince 2 and Agile. And that's what we're going to be teaching on the project management call later this morning for the bootcamp students. So my advice would be do an Agile certification. So that would give you a more advantage when you're interviewing. In fact, one of our students that got a job with NHS was because he has an Agile certification. The Scrum Master certification that I did, I told him to do it, and then he merged it with his Prince 2, and he got a sponsorship job with NHS as a project manager. So all I'm trying to say is, when you join the bootcamp, we might advise you on which route to go. But my own mindset is, for any project manager that is going to be part of the bootcamp, you're not just going to be project managers, you'll be Agile project managers. So you would have a knowledge of Agile or Scrum and also of project management. So that way you're going into the market well-rounded. Does that make sense now?
It does. Okay.
Brilliant. You're welcome. So, Tobiloba, you have your hands up earlier. Are you okay to talk now? All right, Bumi, would you go next?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
you so much. I just want to ask, in what level, at what stage do you assist with the CV during the bootcamp?
That would be after you've done at least one certification. So I would say during the course of the bootcamp, I think anytime from week 6, 7, we advise you to start taking your certification. And in fact, right now, most of our students on the bootcamp are already taking their certifications and they are passing, and they've not even finished the bootcamp. You guys still have, Mr. Bala and Sugar Mommy, I think you guys still have another 6 weeks with me-ish. And I think nothing less than 7 or 10 people have already passed their certification in that cohort, and they are just 6 weeks in. So my advice would be, once you've done your certification and you've passed it, send a copy to me, a draft of your CV as well, and we can start working on it. But my advice would be, once you finish or you pass at least one certification, then you're fine.
All right, okay. Then I just want to ask, do you do this one-on-one tutoring?
Yeah, so I have a mentorship class, and that is also part of our package. So I have a mentorship class with my students. I think Mr. Bala and Yetunde, you're part of my mentorship class.
Yes, correct. Yes.
So yes, I have a mentorship class, and we talk about everything work on that call. So yes, I have a mentorship class, and you have,
yeah,
and
that's very
anybody that is even on the bootcamp has one-to-one access to me anyway. So you can reach out to me even if you have questions. And if you want the mentorship class, then yes, that's fine. But if you have questions and you need to talk to me one-to-one, that's not a problem as well. You don't need to be part of the mentorship class to ask me one-to-one questions.
all right. It's very, very key to me because I've been with a group before. So I just saw you online, and all what you've been putting on, the content you've been putting on struck my attention, and I love them. So I don't know.
I
And
came
the
from a
business,
group, oh, don't worry. I came from a group. I'm telling you, coach knows my story.
Honestly,
I came from a group.
don't worry at all.
I stopped where I came from when I found Nabeltech. And I came with the mindset of that.
Let me tell you, don't forget that. Don't forget, like Mr. Bala, you're very. Let me tell you, nurses are the most critic. I critique everything. I critique myself all the time, and I tell you, on that first thing, I was sitting looking for faults, and I could not find any. You understand? And I'm telling you, I critique a lot, and honestly, I wish this was the way things were delivered in so many aspects of life. Honestly.
To be precise, I had been in that group and I spent about £1,000 on training, and I stopped it. So that's
wow.
I'm being very real to you on it. I'm being very real to you. I'm not.
Mr. Bella, you owe me money then.
I know, and me too.
Buy me coffee. Mr. Bella, you have to buy everybody coffee today. You have to.
You people don't know the journey of pain and annoyance and anger.
Oh.
You understand? And then I always say one thing: once you are building a house, if the foundation is flawed, will the house ever stand?
Yes.
That was what led me to leave where I was, because that's the only question I asked. You can't be saying till project. No, till project, but the foundation, the theoretical aspect is flawed. Not forgetting that I told them, not forgetting I am a CIPM, a Chartered International Project Manager. So I care about the course content and its delivery before the project with so many years of experience. So
also like Mr. Bala said, you're right, Mr. Bala. Yeah.
I welcome you because the experience so far is amazing. I said it. Course delivery. The delivery is awesome. The team, which is most important, the team, they are just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Bala. Thanks, Bumi. Thanks, Sugar Mommy. So Bumi, don't worry. If you need that support, reach out to me. I think you and I can just chat about a way forward. Please, we have a registration link in the chat. I know a couple of people are asking to register. If you've not registered, please, there's a link in the chat. Just click on the link. Someone on our team would call you later today and get you onboarded. Adura, you have your hands up. Let's quickly run through the questions.
Once again, thank you, Lola. Thank you for everyone's contribution as well. Of course, it seems to be like a tight-knitted family. That's really commendable. A quick one. I think all of this will just become a facade if I don't ask a particular question, because it seems our appetite has been whet already. So, a quick question. Providing that some people are interested in this, I'm asking for some other friends that may seem interested. But is there room? Because I'm saying this because we've also come from the same training. Provided that they're interested in this particular course, is there any sort of room for flexible payments? That's what I was gonna ask, because we know where we are, we know how things go. It's different. So I was going to ask that because just like Mr. Bala said, it's highly relatable, but I won't go into details. So I'm just asking just on their behalf.
So one thing I should have mentioned, and thank you, Adira, for bringing me back on track, is about the payment option. So at the moment, yes, we are even offering the 50% discount. So that is why the light version is 600, advanced is 8, and premium is 1,000. And yes, you can pay in installments. So I know a couple of people pay per week, some people pay per month. What you just need to do is work with our finance team or the onboarding team and work like a payment plan with them that kind of fits your how you want to pay, and then we'll support you on that. So for me, I would say definitely payment plan. We allow payment plan. Most important thing for me is for you to get value out of the whole experience. I would say it is an experience because in as much as you're learning, you're also experiencing it. You're part of it. So we want to make sure that you get value for money. So yes, you can pay in installments. Let us know how you want to spread your payments, and we can support as you wish as well.
Thank you very much. That's clear. I would revert the message. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you. Nicola?
Thank you so much again for today, Coach. I wanted to ask, in terms of the certification, I know it's early and we'll get to that, but I just wondered, are there any particular ones that you recommend? I know I was looking at PSM and CSM, but are there any particular ones that you think is better to go for or that you would advise?
Is it for Scrum or project?
For Scrum Master.
So for Scrum Master, I would advise, even before taking PSM, I'll tell you to take SMAC, the SMAC from International Scrum Institute. And that was when I was talking about that I did that cost, was it £50 or £60? So that one is more like an entry-level certification, like I would always say. Makes me understand that you have the basic knowledge of Agile or Scrum. And once you pass that successfully, all our students have always passed on the first go. Or then I can advise for you to take PSM1. I usually advise PSM1 because in the old tech space, I think there's a preference for PSM in the UK and there's a preference for CSM in the US. However, if you have CSM, that is absolutely fine. No one is going to say because you have CSM, I'm not going to call you. That is fine. But my personal preference is PSM. So PSM1, once you pass that, I'll say PSM2, and then maybe just take a basic project management certification just to kind of give you more coverage and then open you up to more roles to apply for, like delivery manager roles, open you for more roles like project lead role as well. So all those, with your knowledge of Scrum and with those certifications, you should be able to like do or go for much more roles than just a Scrum Master role. And like for everybody on the bootcamp now, for me, my mindset is not just to train you for you to be a Scrum Master, is to train you that at the end of the day, you're able to apply for more than one role as a Scrum Master. So yeah, those certifications are something that you can get started with.
Okay, thank you. And then for the project management, so would you advise me doing Prince 2, please?
Foundation Prince 2, that's the first thing. After that, after Foundation Prince 2, I'll say maybe take the SMAC certification. Once you pass that, then you can take Prince 2 practitioner. Once you have more experience on your role, you can take either APM or PMP.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
Sorry, there's something. Sorry to interrupt you, Coach. I'm so sorry. There's something that I believe that Coach actually forgot to mention as well. When you actually, it's not just up until the end of the boot camp. When you actually, because that's one of the worries of going into a new role, new world, even if you've got a degree or master's in the field. When you go into the real world, Coach actually said something last week that actually, I was actually shocked that if Mr. Bala could remember. You can call her and say, look, it's my first day at work. She will be there for you. It's my first day at work. They've asked me to do this. What do I do? And I think for that alone, knowing that somebody is there to hold your hand all the way through, not just, okay, boot camp is finished by. It's not that at all.
Yeah, so thank you for bringing that up. So for me, right, it's not just about the boot camp. So one of our students she got a job on Thursday, and she said, "Oh, Coach D, I just got a job with BAE Systems as a Scrum Master." And I was happy, and I was like, "Okay, so what do you do?" They said, "Coach D, once my reference is done, I need support. What am I going to do? Blah 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 blah." So one of the things we do, or that I do, is for everyone that's gotten a job, before you start your role, so once your reference is cleared from me and you're happy to proceed, I'm going to meet with you, I think 2 days before you start your role. So everything you're going to do on day 1, day 2, I'll run that by you. And then when you start your role, on the first day, you would practically have my number. And then there's a code that I give to all my students. If it is super urgent, you send me SOS. Once I see SOS, I will drop everything I'm doing and I will go and call. If it is not SOS, I will assume I'll call you later or I'll send somebody to call you. But if it is SOS and you're on the job on that first day, I'm going to drop everything. And I know one of our students got a job with JLR. And then she said, Coach D, they just asked me a question. What's the answer? What's the answer? She went into the toilet and then I called her, I gave her the answer and she went on. So one of the things to tell you is you're going to get this one-to-one support from me every day for the first 1 week. At the end of week 1, we're going to assess how you've done. I'm going to tell you what to do for week 2. We're going to meet every day for week 2. And then after week 2, you're going to be meeting with me every Friday. So that means every Friday we'll prepare for what you've done over the week, your lessons learned. And then up until, I'll say, the first 2-3 months in your role, most people will tell me, Coach, okay, I'm fine now. I'm okay. I don't need anything else. And then someone told me the other day, after working in GLR for 6 months, I said, Coach D, I can coach people now. I said, okay, that's good. So you get that support even post boot camp. And even when you have interviews, you can reach out to me. We have a lot of interview videos that I've recorded anyway. If you still need me to catch up with you one-to-one before your interview, we usually just have that quick catch up, just to make sure that you're in the right track and your head is in the right space as well. So that's to say that for us at the boot camp, it's more around, it's a family. We just don't start and we stop. It's around us making sure that you're catered for all through, even post your employment. And there's no one that's gotten a job with Nabeltech that will say, oh, Nabeltech has not been supportive. Everybody, even our student I shared a success story, she got a job 1 month after the boot camp. She got a Scrum Master role to earn £500 per day. The funniest part of it was she did not even know it was £500. After she got the job and they called her back and they said they were going to send her contract, and then she was screaming, Coach D, it's 500. I said 500 was 500 per day. And I was like, ah. And we've had 2 people that have gotten jobs like that are earning £500 per day. So that's to say that the support is there, the mentorship is there, the handholding is there until you are confident in your role. And you also can start mentoring other people, just like Belaga, Dami, Lulu, and the rest of them are doing as well. And Odu. All right. Thank you, Sugar Mommy, for bringing that up. You see why I call you my Sugar Mommy. Okay, let's go to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, over to you, and then we'll round up quickly.
Hi. Thank you so much for your wonderful I don't know, it feels so good hearing from someone with an vast experience like you. My question is this. I intend to round up my studies by next year, hopefully by the end of next year. And is it okay if I take the course now, or I should wait towards the end of my program? And your internship, is it part-time or full-time? Because as a student, I don't know if that's going to affect me. And then secondly, can the skills learned be used in other sectors apart from tech? You know, because I'm coming from an NGO and education background, so I'm thinking if that can be transferred, you know, to universities or TED NGO organizations.
So I'll start with your last question. So yes, your knowledge of Scrum can be applied anywhere else. So we have one of our students that actually got a job as a Scrum Master for a non-profit organization in the UK. And in fact, how she got the job was so funny because they did not even know they needed a Scrum Master. So she was just talking to someone and she was like, oh, I just did my Scrum Master training. And she was part of the NGO. Like, oh, I've heard about Scrum. So what do you do as a Scrum Master? And then after she explained to them, they said, yes, we need you. And they gave her the job on the spot. And now she's doing amazingly well. So the good thing is Scrum is not just only adopted in tech anymore, in education, in finance. NHS now is basically running on tech. Like, I think we've had 2 people gotten jobs from NHS as project managers. And for Scrum Masters, they call them Agile Delivery Manager under NHS. So there are different fields that is adopting this whole way of working. And Scrum is not just for tech. That is why we call it a way of life or a way of working. It can be adopted anywhere. So whatever knowledge you have, even on your day-to-day life, Like for me now, I have like a backlog of things that I do. I know I'm using the buzzwords, but some of our team members will understand. I have a backlog of things that I do. I have the things in progress. I can prioritize my work and things like that. So it is not just in Scrum or in tech. You can use that knowledge anywhere else. So that is one. The internship, it's going to fit around your life, or the work experience is going to fit around everything you do. So at the beginning of the bootcamp, you would give us your preferred time slots, and that is when your meetings will be scheduled. That is when I would say you'll be having those collaboration. However, the training itself is every Saturday. So it would usually be Saturday mornings or Saturday afternoon. So as long as you can spare some time on Saturday in the morning, then you're good. And the timeline for you to start your training, I would say is better early than never. And that is because from my own experience, right, there was a point I kept delaying, and at the end of the day, I did not start. And by the time I started, it was late. So my advice would be start now. After the end of the bootcamp, do the right certifications. I would say work very closely still with the bootcamp, that even after the your certification or after the bootcamp, you're still keeping in touch, you're still learning, you're still on top of your things. I'll say between now and the end of your training, I'll give you a target of like another 3 certifications to do. So by the time you're done with your education, your CV is good to go. And any job that you apply for at that point, there's a very, very high likelihood of you getting the job. If you want sponsorship, you can target yourself to companies that sponsor. You would have studied them. You can even start doing the interview, practicing while you are not ready yet. So by the time you are ready, any interview that you do, you're getting it. And sometimes even when you get it, I know one of our students got a job and he wasn't ready yet. The company held on to the COS until he was ready. And then when he was ready, the COS became active. So that could be as much as some companies can go when you are good at what you do. So my advice would be start now, learn as much as you can learn, make yourself an expert in that field. That by the time you're done with your academics or with your studies, you're better placed in the marketplace and you'll be able to, I'll say, earn well and get a good job as well.
Also, sorry, coach, because there's some people as well, just to coach might have forgotten, the Saturday lessons also are recorded. So because, like, for example, I couldn't attend one Saturday because I had commitment, and you can go back onto the system and watch, although the best practice is to actually participate and be part of that that session. Also, there are people that just put headphone on while they're at work, and you can listen. You don't actually have to talk, if that makes sense. So if that helps, yeah.
Yeah, and then we have a learning management platform where all our videos are put. So at the end of the bootcamp, you can go back and watch the recordings, and you can go back and digest all that. So even after the bootcamp, you don't need to feel like you're not part of the class. Do you get what I mean? So there's still opportunity for you to keep reading, keep yourself updated, keep yourself in the loop, and make sure that you're set for success as well. All right. You're welcome, Elizabeth. Any other question before we go? We are way over time. Adura, you're clearing your throat. Have I answered all your questions?
Yes, please.
All right. That's good. Anything else? It's been an amazing 1 hour, 39 minutes of learning, of fun. Thank you to everybody that's been part of this. I know it can be tricky getting some time Saturday morning from everybody, but very, very big thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for participating. You're going to get a thank you email and SMS from us afterwards. If you want to acknowledge, please feel free to. If you have any question, please respond to the emails or to the messages. We'll be getting it. And I'm sure everybody that's on the call, my team members will be reaching out to you sometimes over the week just to say hello and make sure that you're doing okay. Thank you for your time. Have an amazing, amazing weekend and take care of yourselves. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So much.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Coachy.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.